Welcome to
Stays Crunchy and Milk.
If you have any questions or comments, we have multiple ways we can be reached.
Around?
That is one of the ways. Twitter is, of course, the best way for those of you that need instant gratification in this millennial-based world. And of course, the show's Twitter feed is at Skimpod. That's SKIMPOD. For the more patient amongst you, which is none of us, let's be honest, the email address for the show is podcast@stayscrunchyandmilk.com. Crunchy again, being spelled with a K. We're also available via Apple Podcast, something I've never heard of, Stitcher Radio. Are any of you still using that shit? TuneIn Radio, whatever the fuck that is, I couldn't tell you. Google Play, I've heard of that. I don't use it, but if you do, thank you. Spotify, now that one I use, so find us on there. I know we're on there. And of course, at the website, stayscrunchyandmilk.com. Now I ask that you please rate, review, subscribe, and share the show because honestly, I don't do that shit. And I need someone to pick up my slack. Now, I hear that there is a group of people here that collectively discuss music, and they provide for you, yes you, a pod called Cast. It's a musical discussion show built on a hip-hop foundation, which seems to be what makes the musical world turn these days, and I hear it's pretty swell. Our personal Twitters are Tatum216, Lunchbox2099, The Real ODP, and your host, Internet's Tasty Tayrell 713.
It's like I remember slap boxing. Now we clap shots to catch props, from knocking rocks on the blocks to chopping fat props of chalk. I see the Jakes, they motivate, cause half my team be holding weight. We march across the Golden Gate Bridge, my mind is in a soldier state. Forever real, troops will never squeal, cause my Beretta spill easily and infiltrate your metal shields easily. I'm pleased to be the manhunter grand in San Lance. Now my clan's doing tours from Japan to San Fran. Cisco, live in the disco, packing nickel-plated pistols and keep my block hot like burning Crisco. I wrote that rhyme down when it came out. I think it came out like 97, over and over and over again, so I could get that shit in my head. Because that line about from San Francisco, from Japan to San Francisco, I just like the cadence of that whole fucking line. So that's one of the ones that's like permanently entrenched in my brain. Like no looking it up or anything like that. That is in my mind. That is Woo Renegades off the album. Solid Weapons for Quiet Wars. That was one of the Wu offshoots called Killarmy. They were the West Coast branch of the Wu-Tang Clan. The West Coast Avengers of the Wu-Tang Clan, if you didn't know. They had that kind of deal.
I do remember that. Album.
Yeah.
Is this like NWO West or something?
It really is. We're in a ridiculously loud Susie Soup. I'm glad I'm on a microphone so you can kind of hear me. Because it's busy and loud. It's cold outside, so everybody is in here at this point in time because, soup. What you do when it's cold. I almost made my kids soup this morning. I stopped myself. It's like, no, they be all right.
Remember that old Campbell's commercial when it's snowing outside and the kids are...
Snowman?
Yes.
Yeah. Using that very early morph technology?
Yes.
Pan away, pan back in, pan away, pan back in. Yeah.
Basically, time lapse that, saying that the snow was melting off of them. Oh, yeah, but they did point the floor because the floor was getting wet and they come back up and like, oh, look, less snowman, more person. Stays Crunchy and Milk. We doing the goddamn thing. You know how we roll. What's good with y'all?
Yeah, I just got this morning when I was on my way in, I updated my Tetris Blitz game. Mm-hmm. And then I guess my first time opening it up since then. And there was a message at the beginning saying that they're not going to update the game no more, and as of April, it's not going to be a game no more to play.
Oh, they're pulling it down?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's pretty sad. I ignore my kids for this game.
I play Bejeweled Stars still. And they only recently enough did an update for my for the phone I got because
I don't like running. I mean,
the phone has like a it has a cutout and the game was just cut out right there. And they finally, after a while, fixed that. So they dropped it lower, you know what I'm saying? So it doesn't work in the cutout no more. So I hope they are not in a mood. EA be doing that. EA be like, all right, this game gone. I'm like, oh, we just killing games off.
There was a Tetris video in my YouTube suggested yesterday where it was like 16-year-old kid plays like Tetris Prodigy 2 years ago or something like that. Had like 10 million views. I didn't watch it, but
he won the Tetris championships off that year, and a substantial amount of money.
It was weird because like in the thumbnail, I could see him holding like the Nintendo controllers or something.
That's the rules for competitive Tetris. They play the NES version.
Oh, wow.
And actually, I believe it's a special version of the NES version. But yeah, competitive Tetris exists. Competitive everything probably exists.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised. I've had my share of competitive gaming, so I figure there's some sort of like, even if it's like minor, I'm sure there's some competitive leagues for all kinds of shit. I'm sure there's like maybe some competitive D&D somewhere or something. Although,
maybe the best the dungeon master telling the best like setups.
Yeah,
that could be fun.
I'm sure like it probably exists. Like they have a gaming convention every year. I'm sure there's something like that.
Oh, there's somebody at Gen Con like making a big. I've seen. So I watch. I get the vast majority of my Sports Center on Sports Center Snapchat. I like it. It's concise. I enjoy most of the hosts. They put a lady up the other day, and I was like, "Who is you?" Turns out she was a United States gymnast. She's a gold medal winning gymnast. I'm like, oh, I mean, but they show on there all the time. They'll do esports highlights, and so yeah, everything's competitive. I saw for the first time on that particular episode, I saw competitive Mario Kart. Like money making Mario Kart, and I was very impressed because somebody got somebody with that green shell right at the finish line and came across and took first. And I was like, wow. I can just get up. I can see that. That's a controller throwing situation right there. But
does Money Maker Mario Kart walk around with a bag full of money and can't read?
I have no idea.
Okay.
All I did was run, pull up.
Oh my goodness! How was your weekend, Daniel? I spent the vast majority of mine, like it was a 3-day weekend. I spent most of it with Anthony just because of the way the hustle went.
It was fine. Friday, I went home because it was starting to get a little cold outside.
Yeah.
And I didn't know it was supposed to snow that night. So, like, I've been doing, like, one of those online survey websites where, like, you do the little piddly surveys for, like, cents. And then sometimes, like, you'll get stuff to, like, do tasks. So I had one where they were offering me $30 to go to Sam's Club to take some photos of some stuff. And I got the email that I had like 48 hours to complete the task. And they sent me the email Friday around the time I was leaving work. So I was like, oh, cool, I'll take care of this tomorrow. So I'm thinking, like, I can get up and knock it out in the morning or whatever. And I wake up and I look outside and it's just like snow as far as the eye can see. So I'm like, shit. Well, hopefully, like, it was supposed to warm up that afternoon. So I'm like, maybe it'll thaw out a little bit and I can go. Because I only live like a mile and a half from the Sam's Club. And then while I'm waiting on that, I'm just kind of lounging around in my bed, I get a text from my uncle that my other uncle is in town, and they were all going to go out to lunch. So I agreed because like I don't see everybody all the time, and I figure it's a good idea to put forth a little bit of effort. So they were going to lunch at this place that is on the storefront of where I used to go to the comic book store in high school, in Strongsville, which is a suburb here of Cleveland. There used to be this comic book store on, the comic book store still exists, but they moved like a couple miles down the road. But it used to be in this little strip mall next to what was an Irish bar, and that's where all the people went to play cards when I was in high school. And like they would smoke in there, and then the people who could drink would go next door and like get their pints filled up, and then come back over. And it was kind of weird to be in like a old time, like it was called Goldie's, and it had like Elvis Presley on the wall, and I don't know, a bunch of other older actors and actresses that I can't name, but I can know them by sight.
Lou Ferrigno?
No, I can name that one. I think one might have been like Dean Perry or something like that. And there was like an older lady. I don't know. My grandmother picked it. So we went there, and I wasn't actually really hungry because I'd already eaten breakfast. So I just ate like a Euro omelet. And my parents paid for it, so big ups to them.
Word up.
And then my uncle was trying to get me to go see my grandmother's place, but I sashayed my way out of that one.
How did you do that?
I was like, oh, I gotta go to Sam's Club.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because like my grandmother, like I haven't been to her new place since she moved out of her apartment into like the senior living.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, well, she lives right behind around the corner here. He's like, why don't you stop by? And I think part of it was just because he was bored, and he wanted someone else to be bored with him. But I was like, oh yeah, maybe. And then like I was talking to my stepmom on the side. I'm like, I definitely do not want to go to grandma's right now. I was like, I'm just gonna pretend like everyone forgot that I said I'd go and then just leave.
Oh, you actually agreed to it?
I was like, yeah, like reluctantly, but then I was just like, oh no, they're not gonna call me on it. All right, I'm out of here. So I left and I went to Sam's Club and I did my task and I got some grocery shopping. I have to go there at least once a week based on some of the stuff I buy and how much I use.
Yeah.
So I got my grocery shopping done and then I went home and I didn't leave the house the rest of the weekend. My uncle stopped by on Sunday to pick up some of the comic books I've been storing for him in the closet.
I was just about to ask about that.
Yeah, he could take a few for like carry on, but like he's got so much that like that barely made a dent.
I don't know this story.
Well, he was storing comic books at our grandmother's house, my grandmother's house, his mom's house, when she had the apartment, because he lives in Denver, but he used to live here. And so when she gave up the apartment, he needed somewhere else to store the comic books. So he asked me if I would house them. So they're in like the closet in my spare bedroom right now. And he was in town for the weekend because my grandmother's birthday was the other day. So he took like a little stack back home with him on a carry-on bag.
Yeah.
But it's like he has so many in the closet, and compared to what he took on the carry-on bag, it was like he barely made a dent of any kind. But he was talking about maybe doing like a road trip in the summertime, and then he could take the rest home or something. And I don't know. But he came over for a little while, and he was in my house for maybe like 40 minutes or something. Like he was going through that and talking to me while I was watching the football game. And then he left, and after that, like I basically just watched football, and I did some cleaning here and there. Then I watched like more football, and then I made some food, and then we had off yesterday for Martin Luther King Day. So so I did some stuff that I've been talking about doing that I hadn't gotten around to, like going through like the cabinet with like the Tupperware in it and cleaning out some of that stuff, and I organized some stuff in the dining room where my buffet is, and then I went downstairs and did a little organizing, put some things away. So I got some stuff done yesterday. Like I did my laundry already for the week. And just, I've been watching like this YouTube comedy channel, Dry Bar Comedy, because it's like usually like 40 to 45 minute specials on people I've never heard of. So it's been
Lou Ferrigno?
I think he's on an upcoming episode.
Okay.
So I've been watching that and just trying to avoid spending money. Like my uncle's like, oh, I'm meeting your cousin for a drink, and then we're gonna go have dinner on Sunday night. And I was like, nah, y'all go have fun. I was like, I'm not trying to spend money. And then yesterday, he was flying out yesterday afternoon, and we had some more snow come overnight.
Yeah.
And when I looked outside, like my street wasn't plowed, and I wasn't going anywhere, so I didn't feel like going outside to shovel the driveway because I didn't know if it was supposed to snow some more, which it kind of did, but not enough to where like it would have been bad.
Yeah, your street looked beautiful, and I'm like looking, I'm like, what the fuck? But I know I live in the snow belt. It looked like you had like just a Christmas car, and I was just had like a snow globe shooken up.
Like when I sent you guys the one picture, like it wasn't that bad, and then they plowed kind of early, and so like the snow was kind of wet, so it was more like slush. And then it snowed again yesterday and like Sunday night, and it got to the point where I'm like, I'm not leaving to go anywhere. It'll melt on its own. So like I'm sitting in the living room around like 11:30 in the morning, and I'm watching like YouTube. And I had opened up, well, not opened up, but I like pulled the curtain up on 2 of the windows because I have like bay windows in the living room, so I could see outside. And I'm sitting there, and my neighbor, who like I never really talked to, I've talked to him maybe twice, and it was like really brief.
Yeah.
He's like, he has a snowblower, and he like was snow blowing his driveway and then the sidewalk, but then he just starts snow blowing my sidewalk.
Nice.
And I'm like, oh shit, I'm in here, like I'm being a lazy piece of shit. Let me get away from the window so you can't see that I'm in here not taking care of my sidewalk. So that was kind of what prompted me to start cleaning out the cupboards at that point.
Yeah.
Just because I didn't want my neighbor to see me.
I'll show him. I'll clean the cupboards.
Yeah, exactly. Let me get out. My thinking was let me get out of line of sight and be productive in some regard. So I did that, and then while like in my cleaning Sunday, I decided to do something that I've been putting off for a while. Like I bought the stuff for it last year. Well, not like not a long time ago, but within the last couple months. But I hadn't actually like put aside time to do it. Was bake a keto cheesecake. So I haven't baked a single thing since high school, when like they had us do cookies and stuff. So it's been many years since I've done any attempt at baking. So I followed the directions, and I got all the ingredients out, and I was a little nervous at first because like I hadn't blended anything in a while, and I'm blending the cheesecake. I mean the cream cheese with everything, and it was kind of like it kept pulling up because I was using a hand mixer, and it kept pulling up into like the mixer, like
The blade.
yeah, the blades, and it was like pulling to the side of the bowl. But then as it like I started beating it some more because it had me like put the eggs in one at a time and then beat them in and
Cream in.
yeah, so like it got more like batter consistency as we went on. So I was like, oh, okay, because I was kind of worried that I was doing it wrong or something, or it was like gonna be all fucked up. But no, it worked out. So I baked my first cheesecake. I used the what do they call it? The pot pan or the springform pan. Yeah, I used the springform pan, and I made it with an almond flour crust. And
You definitely inspired me.
doing it again. Well, I'll touch on that here in a moment.
Well, you touch on you inspired me.
Well, I thought maybe like you did something.
No, I didn't do it yet.
Oh, well, I definitely needed to cook it for like probably like another couple minutes because the middle was still a little like runny. Mm-hmm. Like it was cooked, but I think it needed like probably like another 2 or 3 minutes or so. And I realized too that I probably needed to put the crust, because they had me bake the crust for like 11 minutes before I put the cheesecake filling in, and I think like I needed to cook the crust for probably another 2 minutes or so, like because it was cooked, but it wasn't like crunchy brown cooked.
Yeah,
it was still like a little bit soft. Like I think I needed to do that a little bit more, and then I think I needed to leave it in because I had it in for 55 minutes. But I think like I don't know if like my oven is a little off or whatever.
Yeah.
But I think I needed to cook it a little bit, like just a couple more minutes.
You got a gas or electric?
I'm an electric.
Okay. I used an electric oven when I was down in Virginia for my sister's birthday because I made her chocolate chip pie because she had asked for one, and so I surprised her with a chocolate chip pie for her birthday. And I hadn't used an electric oven in some time, and it was so nice to have a precise ass oven to cook in because I have a gas oven, and they just be sometimes
rangy.
Yeah, that's the point. And I probably need to go through and calibrate it, put the thermometer in there, and be like, what is 350 on the dial actually do give me in the oven, and kind of know where I'm going with it.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like I had it on 350.
Yeah.
But I think it was on 350 because it's a dial.
Yeah.
And it's like the numbers I'm guesstimating based on where the dial is on the thing.
Yeah.
So I did my best to have it on 350, but like I feel almost like it wasn't exactly on 350. Like maybe it was on like 340 or something like that. And I mean, it came out. It was edible. I still have like a little less than half of it left.
Yeah.
And it made me like want to do it again because it wasn't that bad. I mean, like when I buckled down and actually did it, I had the whole thing like prepped in the oven in maybe 20 minutes or so. Like, and then having done it now, like I know next time like what I'm looking at and how things are gonna go. Like I won't have that same nervousness with the mixing that I did on this one because like I honestly thought like I was fucking it up or something when it was getting all clunky and not mixing very well. But I guess now I just know like keep mixing it and like it'll get to where I need it to go. But it also made me want to kind of experiment with like adding stuff to it.
Yeah, for sure.
It's like now that I've done it, I could easily see how just like maybe like getting some keto chocolate chips inside of it would like I could dump that into the batter and now I know what's gonna happen or like I don't know like some cocoa powder or something like that. You know, like I can play around with it now and kind of make it my own now that I have an understanding of the base.
Now when you make a cheesecake, is that when you can use the bain marie, you know, the water and the
water bath to keep it moist?
Yeah, there was like part of one of the recipes I looked at talked about putting tin foil on the bottom of the spring pan.
Yeah.
And then putting it like in the water bath.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought that was it was on my mind about the way because I don't bake cheesecakes. Cheesecakes are tricky. So it's actually kind of dope that you went for it. That's actually a big swing for your first bit of baking in a long time. They are touchy ass little motherfuckers when you want to cook cheesecakes.
What temperature did you do? You said 350.
Mm-hmm.
It was 350 for
55 minutes.
55 minutes.
That seems a high temperature for a very long time. I wonder if it'd be like 325 for like 60 minutes. But I don't know. It just that's like I said, cheesecakes are touchy. The fact you got.
I mean, like you saw the pictures, like the top didn't even really brown.
Yeah, but I mean, technically it's not supposed to brown.
Like the sides kind of did.
Yeah,
but like the top didn't really get much color.
Yeah, the side should have a little color to it, but the top you actually want to be kind of like.
Yeah, it depends. Caramelization is the eye of the beholder in a cheesecake because some people like that brown, but that's a pitch perfect cheesecake.
Yeah, it really is.
Like as far as like
the only issue I had was when I took
cracks.
the spring pan off. The cracks happened after it started to cool.
Yeah.
And that thumbprint right here in the picture I'm showing them, that was from when I had the glove and I was trying to grab it. I nicked it. But,
I knew what that was when I saw it because I've been there.
Because sometimes they don't use any
side crust.
Side crust.
That wasn't even side crust. That was just the batter that was touching the spring pan.
You're on point.
Yeah, that's a pretty perfect cheesecake.
It really is.
And like T just said, if you probably did like 325 at 60 minutes, it probably would have been spot on. You probably wouldn't have had the jiggles. And like you said, if you felt like you needed to let the almond flour go for a little bit longer.
Yeah, I felt like I needed to do the almond flour a little bit more, and I needed to leave the cheesecake itself in the oven. Because what it was is, it gave me a range of like 45 minutes to like an hour.
Yeah.
And I just kind of went in the middle a little bit. I would like a little bit over the middle. Because I'm like, all right, well, if it gives me this range, that probably means it'll take somewhere in here. If I lean more towards the middle, it'll come out all right without having to like, because I didn't know what I would be looking for.
Yeah.
I didn't know what the consistency would be like. I didn't know what it would look like. So I just assumed if I stayed in the middle, it would be a good enough barometer going forward so that I could get an idea of what I'd be looking for.
And now you know all that.
With your oven at our sea level, because that shit matters, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because when my uncle was over, like I said, he lives in Denver.
Yeah.
I was telling him how, man, y'all shut the fuck up. I was telling him how I was going to be doing that, and that was part of another reason why I didn't want to go out with everybody.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, it's different, like, for us baking up in altitude and shit.
How so? Like, longer or shorter? Or?
He didn't really specify, like, I didn't get into it with him, but I have read before that it is different.
Literally on the back of the boxes of most cakes and stuff, it'll have like 25,000. If you're in Denver, because that's basically what they're saying, you got to bake it. I think it's a lower temperature but a longer time. I think it just ends up being something weird like that.
Okay.
But yeah, the altitude matters. And so now your oven basically says hour, and you know they're going for the next one. That's dope, man. I baked brownies last night, but that's one of something. So
I was kind of impatient too, because like I wanted to cut it open and see what I was working with, but it's like you're supposed to take it out of the oven, leave it on the counter until it gets down to room temperature, then put it in the fridge for like 4 hours or overnight. They say overnight's best, but they said 4 hours probably what you should have it at.
Yeah.
So when I took it out around 7, which if I waited 4 hours, I put it at 11, and that's not even including waiting on the counter for it to cool. So I got kind of impatient and I put it in the freezer. And just so I could get it to firm up a little bit so that I could kind of make that first incision just to see what it was like looking with. Because this whole thing for me was a learning experience.
Yeah.
And when I cut it open, that's when I saw that it was still kind of runny in the middle. And I was like, all right, well, maybe that's because it hasn't firmed up enough yet. So then, I ate the sliver that I cut out. I put it in the fridge. And then when I got up yesterday morning and I pulled it out, it had firmed up a lot more. But in the middle, it was still kind of runny. So that's how I knew that it didn't cook long enough in the middle. So that's why I'm saying, I probably have to go, 60 minutes.
Yep. And I'm just get you an oven thermometer. Slap that bitch on there because it's super easy, and just be like, all right, is my oven actually at the temperature I need it to be at? And if not, then you know what the deal is.
This is how, I haven't baked much. I haven't baked anything in there either. I set the temperature on the stove, but then I forgot to turn the knob to bake. So, I had it on 350 while I prepped the almond crust, and then I look over and the light wasn't on. I'm like, fuck. So I had to wait for the oven to heat up.
Baking is one of my true joys. I really enjoy baking stuff. I'll cook some stuff on the stove, whatever. But I really enjoy baking. It's a lot. It's just something I really like. Yeah, this is.
I think I would enjoy it a little bit more as I do it, but also I'd probably enjoy it more if I had a dishwasher, because hand washing all the mixer blades and shit sucks balls.
Yeah, you're right.
I went through a mixing cup, a couple of different little measuring spoons. I went through 2 white blades, a spatula, a bowl, all this shit. And the end reward is nice, and I'm glad I was able to do it and everything. But goddamn.
Fuck this bullshit.
Yeah, it is difficult to be to go through all that, and then you need one for liquid, a measuring spoon, a measuring cup for liquid, a measuring spoon for dry.
Yeah.
And when you're going back and forth, when you're creaming, you need you got to do all the sugars, and then some stick on the side, and it's
luckily in this, most of the liquid stuff that I had to measure out went in after the dry ingredients, so I could reuse the spoons without having to wash in between. The one takeaway I will say from this is I didn't realize how much alcohol vanilla extract smells like.
Oh yeah.
When I it was quite pungent. I didn't expect that.
If it's good vanilla extract, it should be kind of strong in that regard.
Well, it was a Walmart brand.
Well, I mean, so I'm saying what I mean by good vanilla extract, you listeners, you Daniel, is you'll see it. It'll say imitation vanilla extract, or it'll say pure vanilla extract, and I get that uncut.
Yeah, Walmart makes like I said, when we were talking about baking for Christmas, I feel like their pie crust is pretty good.
Yeah, you were saying how you enjoyed their crust.
Well, the one that I used was pure vanilla extract.
There you go. That uncut cut, that cooked Coke raw.
Thank you, Instagram picture. The only thing not pictured in my picture of all the ingredients was the 3 eggs that I had forgot that I needed to pull out of the fridge when I took this picture.
Yeah.
And I didn't feel like going back and retaking it. So just imagine there's 3 eggs hiding behind the box of cream cheese.
So did you let everything get to room temperature before you start cooking?
Yeah, I pulled all the ingredients out of the fridge in the morning time, and I let them sit on the counter for a couple hours, because that was one of the things I read in the ingredients was let the cream cheese get to room temp. And I'm like, well, that seems odd, but then I thought about it. I'm like, that probably makes it easier for mixing.
Yes.
So yeah, I pulled all that stuff out, all the almond flour and all that. Honestly, had been sitting on my dining room table for the last couple months, so all I had to do was just move that. But the cream cheese, I pulled that out, and the butter I pulled out. I figured, just let it sit there. You can leave butter out anyway. So.
Yeah.
Do you feel like this is the perfect opportunity for you to get a stand mixer now? Because we have talked about it in the past, and now you actually know it's like, oh yeah, that arm work I was doing, and that little drama you went through with the.
It would definitely make it easier as far as me not having to worry about the power cord getting into the bowl and I could see it. Doing this made me realize how I want a bigger kitchen.
Yeah.
If I ever move,
I'm saying that dining room. What'd you really do with it, man?
I know, but I'd have to knock down the wall to make it usable.
I know.
That wall, that's only a pony wall.
Yeah,
I don't think it's doing any structural, is it?
there might be a beam in the one part, but I don't know.
Yeah. I feel like that maybe. I'm not saying let's knock it out, but I'm saying.
Yeah, I'm not saying like we gonna do it. Like we're gonna.
That wall literally only just has like 2 heat vents on it.
Yeah.
Other than that, like it's basic, and then like a power outlet. Other than that, it's fucking useless.
Yeah, I would totally make that a bigger kitchen. I would just Kool-Aid man that shit down. And
I just figure though, like I would definitely do that if I thought like maybe in my mind that like this is where I would be for a long ass time.
You really don't think you're gonna be there?
Well, I don't like. I'm not looking to move, but like it's fine for me now. But what happens, like I guess, like if I have a family and we want to move someplace different.
I can hear that.
Tom just got to move to the basement. He got to make his way to the basement.
But it's a really spacious house. Otherwise, you could have a family there easily. I guess you wouldn't have a dining room at that point. But I mean,
you can definitely have an eating kitchen.
Yeah, but I like a dining room, kitchen. It's almost the same shit.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard to like entertain a bunch of people like for like a meal, which I've come to find with what I got. Knocking that wall down isn't gonna make it any easier.
Yeah. Well, like I said, if you knock the wall down, like I said, then your cabinets can move, things move. You could probably get a dishwasher installed, so on and so on. It becomes like, yeah, that's real possible.
Yeah, like if like say I was married and we had kids or something and we were gonna stay in that house, that's something I would definitely look into.
Yeah.
If it's just gonna end up being me for a while, because I mean I'm single.
I hear you.
So it's like, is the truth worth the squeeze?
Yeah.
I feel like either way, it would be worth the squeeze because if you decide to sell the house, people desire a bigger kitchen.
Yeah.
And like, yeah. I'm just always thinking in that terms. Every time somebody says, well, I want to do this to my house, but think about like how much you would enjoy that. Somebody else would be like, if the selling possibilities of it.
It's also the cost of it.
I hear you. No
Because
doubt.
like I decided like this year was gonna be a year where I really buckle down and start saving and trying to put some extra money on my mortgage payment to get cause I need to get this PMI off. It's such a waste of money.
Yeah.
But then it's like I don't know how much knocking down a wall is gonna cost because you have to be a contractor. There's got to be electrical work. Like I said, there's 2 furnaces on that wall that need a little adjusting.
Well, Gabe was in the midst of it right now. If any of you be like, hey, you know what I'm saying, what is that looking like?
And at the end of the day, I don't know anybody else who's better at researching shit than you. I don't, like, anytime, like, when you hear me haw about stuff, I always think back of my own, like, he gonna look it up and Google it, or he gonna look at a YouTube video of it. Like, you'll if it's something you're honestly interested in, you'll find out because you're the best at researching shit and then getting into it. So, I'm not worried about it. If it's something that you're really, really thinking about, you'll get it done.
I was doing a lot of research for our Patreon show the last couple of days. I watched a lot of videos about whiskey and bourbon and like different drinks and the costs, and I watched a lot of shit.
I feel like the place we went to for lunch, it's called Whiskey something, but they didn't have no fucking whiskey there, right?
Oh, it is like a whiskey keg or something like that?
Yeah. I would like to I'd like to take my girlfriend to like a wine tasting pretty soon, but I think we could do like a whiskey tasting or something like that. There's some places here that does that, right?
We got a distillery restaurant in Lakewood, down on Madison, a little bit from the house, man. So I mean,
So we could
definitely,
walk.
Yeah, there's definitely. I mean, I would not walk that walk. That's like 3 miles. Fuck that. But it's around the way, so it's like we can get to it without no issues. What I'm saying. So that could definitely.
Can have Xander
happen.
pick us up and drop us off?
Almost. I'm about to. That's literally the.
No, because we're in the car. He could temp it.
Oh, true indeed. Oh, God, really? You can just be Slizzard. You can just be like, get me home, son.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because I mean, he's behind the wheel. Like, it ain't like you're going to be able to stop anything.
I wonder what the laws about that are. I have to look into that.
Like, yeah, does it have to be one non-inebriated adult in the car?
But I'm about to. The OT I have accrued these last few days is literally going toward his driving school. So that's basically what this is for. Because I could have stayed my ass home yesterday. I was tired as fuck, man. It's terrible. It's terrible, and I'm very sleepy for it right now.
Next time we do a We Tried in my basement, the scenery in the background will be a little more clean.
I love that you. I love. It's like I wish y'all. For those who actually get those videos, which is just our patrons at the $5 and above level, consider joining us in on that situation. We do great work. I love that they're gonna be like, what went on back there? At some point we might have to do just a walkthrough. Like, hey, this is the set. Let's do a quick walkthrough so you guys can see it.
Yeah, I rearranged a few things yesterday and I finally put some stuff back that was out of place, and I brought some stuff downstairs. They've been in my kitchen for a long time. Like that boot that you got me.
Yeah.
Finally made it downstairs.
I think you should go in the kitchen because that's where the beer is at. But I guess you got beer in the basement. Yeah. That's awesome. If you filled that with White Claw, that could be hilarious. That could be a good video. So
I'm planning on drinking during the Rumble on Sunday.
Okay.
So we'll see what happens.
There you go.
What do you think you're gonna be drinking?
Well,
You put the good lick away.
oh yeah. The Angel's Envy and the Eagle Rare, that's not coming out. But I've got that bottle of Larceny you gave me last year.
Yeah.
Which it was in some of those YouTube videos I saw.
Yeah.
I've got it was funny them talking about Crown and not really recognizing it as a good, it's not bad, but they were it's Crown.
Everybody knows it. You got the special bottle crown though from Canada, did you not?
I do have the limited Canada only release.
You're a little higher up the ladder a little bit.
It costs the same as all the other ones.
Oh, word?
Yeah.
Oh, because we paying Canadian prices. So, maybe it costs more in America if it did, but who knows?
Well, I can't sell it in America.
A fair point. It costs what it costs.
I feel like for the one episodes of BBB, if you're gonna do a whiskey episode, we should all bring a recipe to the table and try it out.
It was interesting, the videos I watched, because T and I, we kind of there was a little bit of a plan, but there was no rehearsals or anything like that. We just kind of sat down and did it.
I truly, and again, you don't get it because you don't support the Patreon, but you'll get it. Actually, you might have had it by now because it takes a little bit before those come out. Plus, after a month, you get them anyway. But I truly think for something we just freestyle, everything about it was right. It just felt good.
The thing about it was, watching you guys do videos with the thing spinning and doing certain shots and everything, I'm I didn't get it at the time. I'm what the fuck are they doing? Because Vanessa was helping out with this, and I'm watching these other channels that they're not they talk about the product from a place of knowledge, whereas we talk about it from a journey of learning about it. Mm-hmm. And I'm watching some of these videos, especially this one channel I was watching with this dude and his hot wife. And
is she a legit hot wife?
She's my taste.
This dude and his hot wife is definitely your show title. Good work, thank you, sir.
And I'm watching, and they were doing similar stuff where they're doing the close up shot of the item, and it's rotating a little bit, and they're getting the close up angles and the slow motion and everything. I'm oh, so that's what they were doing.
Shoot B-roll. A lot of it.
Yeah.
Especially for this particular show. That's going to be an interesting edit when it's all said and done. But one of the guys supposed to be working it on this whole network situation is he edits as well. So it's got another editor in our pocket for such situations. And so when it all comes down to it, hopefully it'll be something real great.
Yeah, I need to find a computer chair, because we get these emails, and I'm just I'm not answering all this shit on my phone.
I literally I just saw the email this morning myself because it goes to the show feed. This is this whatever you call it, inside baseball shit, and I was I will answer that this evening. I can't do that right now because I just saw it this morning. I was that's a lot of me to do. I don't even think about this show at that level. Including
you got an email?
Yeah, you should have an email too because we're all copied on it. So, but came Saturday if you were wondering when it came. But
I read it.
I read it. Now I need to respond to it.
Yeah.
So there you go. Things, people. I along with Prince right here got to go see my favorite podcast live and uncut and in my town. I've told you, I've seen
Podcast?
No. That's working. All these things, getting things happening. But I told you I flew to Boston to see them guys on my birthday, but this time I got to see them in my own backyard on a very cold night. God damn, it was cold. I had to see the Doughboys live. Ant was with me. And I got damn good seats. Probably the finest seats I ever had for anything. I don't know though. I had front row seats for the Legend of Zelda concert at the Playhouse, and that was pretty great too. But I got to see my favorite podcast live and in person and from the front row, and B, what I'm pretty sure, even after the fact, the only 2 people of color in that whole goddamn theater.
Yeah, which was mentioned on the show.
Oh
like,
yeah, from the stage. So that's another reason it was pretty dope. They brought who me and Anthony actually was like, man, I hope they come through with this dude, and they brought Carl Tart through he was the guest on the episode, and I don't know, man. I just had a genuinely good time. People around me, my people to my right, just kept getting drinking and was getting progressively drunk through the night. And my man just kept hugging me up and touching me. Anytime they looked toward us and said anything to us, he's like, "Holy cow, high fiving me and stuff like that." There, but they did a restaurant that I don't fuck with. You fuck with that restaurant?
I'm not gonna say I fuck with it, but at the same time, I'm happy they went there.
Yeah.
I was pretty familiar with their menu. Like I don't eat beef, but occasionally I live vicariously through my girlfriend. I'll buy her a burger somewhere.
Yeah.
And I have bought her a burger there. She did not like this place. But like I feel like it's still like one of those staples that people talk about all the time.
Yeah.
And just like with bacon, I respect it. Don't mean I gotta eat it.
True indeed. But just in general, I had a great experience. I laughed hard and heartily. They I don't know, man. I don't even know how to talk about it.
I've listened to every single episode of the Doughboys. Some twice, some 3 times. I do like, and it was honestly like when they go to places like destinations on the road, they don't always have fun with it.
Yeah.
Like if the place sucks, it sucks, and like just like with anything, you have a bad experience there, it shows on the stage.
Yeah.
They had a good experience, like they were talking about driving in, and you know, Carl said like he was driving, and like they had a good time driving in the snow. Like this wasn't something he had experienced much, so they had fun. They had fun making the show, so it showed.
Yeah.
And they gave good reviews on Swenson's. How do you feel about Swenson's lunch?
I feel like the burgers are overrated, but the sides and the shakes are good.
Okay.
They very much enjoyed the shakes. So what sides did they mention?
They mentioned what something I never had, a Cajun onion ring. Bits?
Yeah, the onion ring pieces, whatever.
Yeah,
the
pieces.
And then they were talking about how they were real good, dipped in ranch. And I'm like, well, I mean,
it's what I can't remember the name of the side. You keep on vamping. I'm gonna pull up the Swenson's menu, and it was one of the things I tried there that was really good that they didn't get.
I can't even imagine going to a drive-through on Saturday with the weather we had in this town. And of course they spoke on that, but it's like we had the gambit of weather that day. It literally swung from
Potato puffs,
rain, sleet, snow to decent enough to kind of melt the snow down at one point during the day. It was all and just wind all the entire time. So it was a wild ass day for that kind of weather to be at a drive-through. But again, they did that. They went to the one at Avon, which I was talking to somebody. We were talking to somebody as we were in the meet and greet line. And he was like, I don't think they got one at Avon. I'm like, they just clearly said Avon, bruh. What is we doing here? That man followed me on Instagram. I don't know what to do with that. I followed him back because his Instagram seems sane. So I was like, all right, I'll follow you back, man.
You know, since we're talking about social media, so I broke one of my own rules last night on Twitter. So Des Bryant put up a tweet talking about needing to go help Delonte West and how he was going to reach out and see what he could do for him.
Yeah.
Then some dude got into the comments and said something like, why would you single out Delonte West and help him? What makes him so special? There's plenty of other people that need help too. Mm-hmm. And then I wrote to this guy, I'm breaking my own personal rule of Twitter, but you deserve this, ... Fuck you. And in a strange turn of events, he deleted his tweet, then replied back to me and went, I deserve that.
Oh.
You know what? It was a necessary time to break them rules, and you might have just opened that man's eyes.
Yeah, I had to stop watching that video. Like, I don't know Delonte West. I know that there's other people that need help, but that was a special kind of fucked up.
Yeah.
And I felt like people, the amount of retweets it got, the amount of jokes that was in that feed, the amount of likes that it got was disgusting. And it was just like, this, yes. I mean, it's just one of those things where I know people who lost their mind for different reasons. Like, I know somebody, a close personal friend of mine, who went insane because he gave up his kidney.
Yeah.
Like, he did something to help somebody else, and he developed a chemical imbalance from it.
Yeah.
So you don't never know why somebody, went off the deep end. It was like, oh, like, I don't know if it was drugs.
Yeah.
You don't know if it was drugs. You don't know what it was. And obviously, he was having problems when he was,
playing in the league.
Yeah, in the league. So, like, for people to be like, just like the first comment I seen was like, ain't that LeBron's stepdad? I'm like, I just don't find the funniness in it. Obviously, this is a person who it was probably better off than us in a lot of ways in life, and like still didn't get the help he deserved.
Yeah.
So why is that funny?
Yeah, I didn't even watch the video. I was like, I don't need to see Delonte West in this state of affairs.
Yeah.
But again, it brought it to the forefront of people's minds. Hopefully now he will receive some of the help he needs, and we hope it'll go better for that man.
The thing about it is, people know who Delonte West is.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
People have a personal, personal in a way that, like, we watched him play basketball, so we're aware of where he was at and what his life was like. And then to see it become like this, a lot of us feel bad because we liked watching him play. Like, he wasn't amazing, but he had this like energy about him, like this, like he had the goofy videos like in the car, like the KFC, and like there was personality there.
Yeah.
So it's like he's someone who, like, I know his story in a way. So I feel differently about watching that than if I were to just see a video of someone on the street that I don't know who they are.
Yeah.
So that's why people are like, oh shit, Delonte West, we need to help him, because they know who Delonte West is.
Yeah.
Random stranger doesn't get that same attention because we don't know who Random Stranger is.
Yeah.
We didn't watch Random Stranger's backstory and his come up. Like, we didn't watch him go to college. We didn't watch him in the pros. Like, we don't know, like, about him having to play in China and having a kid. And, like, I know that dude had a kid a couple years ago. He had a story in I don't know if it was like the Washington. It was some publication did a background story on him. There was like a video attached to it where it was like detailing him trying to make a comeback into the league. I think at the time he might have been playing with Dallas.
Yeah.
And he had a new baby, and I remember him holding the baby in bed and him talking to the baby about, like, oh, you can't believe the things they say about your daddy and LeBron's mom. And it was like, I've seen that shit. And then to see that dude on the streets in that predicament, it's like, fuck, man, how did he get to this point?
Yeah.
Whereas, like, I just see somebody on the street, I'm like, I don't know all the backstory. So it's easy to detach when you don't have all the information.
Yeah. And in general, man, you don't know what that dude does with his money and his help. He might have been helping lots of other people. But in this case, he's saying he's going to do what he can do to help Delonte West out. And I applaud him for that. And also, I don't think I'd applaud this dude who was like, you know what? That was shitty of me. And not only just deleted his tweet, offered you a bit of like, thanks for kind of checking me on this, because it was necessary. Sometimes it's fucking necessary. And like I said again, I hope Delonte West finds the help he needs and gets healthier and gets better and is able to be with his family and children and live a better life, man. It's just like,
it felt like a shitty time for someone to be like, well, yeah, but
I hate that.
There's other things that aren't good too. And I'm just like, man.
I was listening to the Culture Kings today, and they just went through the list of all the restaurants that and that just do pretty much what people consider evil stuff, and this is like, man, at the end of the day, you can't really support anything because everything, like, at the end of the day, it seems like it got some kind of bad connotation to it. Just do the best you can, and then it's what else can you do?
Yeah, and we said it before. There is no ethical consumption under capitalism, because capitalism is a system that's been fucked up since the word go.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Capitalism is a system that enslaved me. And so I just, you know what I'm saying, but also it's why I got a big ass TV. What I'm supposed to do, man?
Yeah, I was watching before we came here. I was watching one of the Dr. King documentaries.
Yeah.
And this particular one was talking about his time in Chicago.
I didn't even know he had time in Chicago.
Boy.
All I knew about his travels through the South. What was he doing in Chicago?
Like he was helping with housing.
Really?
And trying to get equal housing for blacks. And he was just like, the amount of hate, like when he said they'll do marches in the South, it'll be a couple hundred people there.
Yeah.
50 people. He was like, it was fucking thousands in the North.
Yeah.
Like waving rebel flags, you know, calling us the hard R.
Yeah.
And he was just like, it was nothing like that in the South.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't know. It just kind of, like, brought a whole state of mind in, and we just got to do better.
Trying to. We legit, you know what I'm saying, I do my part. I donate where I can. Don't think your boy ain't out here trying to do his best for the society as he can. I just kind of accept that it's like, it ain't. Oftentimes they try to put it on our shoulders as if we did this, and we didn't do this. We ain't fuck this world up like this.
No.
Now, I'll do my little piece. I'll do my little part. But it's really not on me. And what can I do that factories have existed before my time that has fucked this planet, that factory farming is ruining, with feeding cows the wrong thing because it's cheaper, is causing methane levels to be as crazy high as they are, thusly causing, you know what I'm saying, problems with the ozone layer. It's wild what it goes down. We feed cows corn. Cows can't eat corn. Cows can't digest corn. We can't digest corn. You know what corn does? Corn
right in the pot.
It's right on back out to sea. Well, it does even more. Like us, we poot it out. Cows fart. Causes all kinds of gas because they can't digest it. And it's like, that's why grass-fed beef looks better. I'm sure it tastes better. I assume. Yeah. And also those cows had a better life, but a tummy that it wasn't always rumbling the whole goddamn time. Capitalism on some bullshit, people. And I went to go see the Doughboys, and I had a great time.
It was a great time.
It truly was. So.
You got to meet them afterwards?
Yeah, because if I'm in the front row, then I had to go ahead and pay for that meet and greet, right? I had to. And I got to shook hands with Wire. I actually hugged Mitch, which I have no idea where that came from. Just did.
Yeah, he hugged us. Everybody was very happy. I feel like I wish I would have got to meet Yusong, but
yeah. Yusong is a showrunner's assistant on Disney Plus's She-Hulk show. So he's somebody. He coming up in the world. That LA podcast scene, bruh. You can get places.
Yeah.
So
Emma is fine in public, man.
It's all right. She got a little booty on her for being so small. I was kind of like,
And she's wearing a pair of black Timbs, so you know she a thug.
I made a point. Nobody else was inviting her in for pictures, and I was like, "What is even going on here? Why y'all not having Emma in y'all pictures?" I was like, "Emma, get in here." And she's like, "Okay." I'm like, "Fuck yeah, Emma's in the picture." So,
but yeah, it was a very good time.
Yeah, the Agora is an interesting facility. As the second or third time I've been there in my life. The Agora is weird. It's a weird. It's an interesting layout. Good staff though. The staff I had to fuck with, but it was all brothers who I had to fuck with, except for the white people at the beginning. One of them took a piece of gun from Anthony, which was hilarious. I realize that seems dumb to me, but you got to go through. You get wanted and you get through the metal detector. And the man was just like, "Hey man, can I get a piece of that?"
I was like, I can't say no, really.
Well, Anthony, of course, gave him a piece of gum, but just that happened seems so like that's just outlandish. And again, we was the only brothers there, and Carl Tart literally set us off on the stage. He go, "Y'all know y'all the only brothers here. If anything go down, y'all gotta have my back." Like,
yeah,
worry not, sir. Carl Tart, you the man himself. Carl Tart was on an episode of The Good Place the week he was in town with us, which is pretty fucking dope. You know what I'm saying? He played a demon on The Good Place. So that's also pretty good. Carl Tart, soon to be somebody, already kind of somebody, writes on Brooklyn Nine-Nine as well, or was writing on Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I don't know if he still does.
NBC family, probably still is.
True indeed, yeah. So, dig Carl Tart, dig Nick Weiger, Emma Erdbrink, and Mike Mitchell. Mike Mitchell, you know from Netflix's Love, Blaze. I think he plays Mike, right? Yeah, yeah.
And he was on 2 seasons of the Birthday Boys that was on IFC. And then on Netflix.
Yeah. So if you don't fuck with Doughboys, you probably should. It's a really great show. They review chain restaurants every week, and man, I love the little belly Weiger has developed over the years of doing this show.
Yeah, he'll probably get it back together again. He knows what to do.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, he said he always talks about how he's a chubby man, a chubby kid. So I know he knows how to get it together. But it's wild out here right now, people. Be kind to your neighbors. Just it's a fucked up time we live in, and the impeachment trial starts today, and it's a bit of chaotic world we in right now. But yeah, just look out as best you can for your folk, man, because you know all we got is us and each other, and I'm grateful for that.
Yeah, we're about to end it. Do you guys got anything you're looking forward to this year that we didn't say so far? Or, I think. Well, I guess I'll just kind of end it here. When do you think you guys want to try to pull off our great Detroit caper?
When it just gets a little warmer. I'm looking at around March is what I think would be our best bet, because it's just, well, who knows, if the weather just is cool, we can go anytime. But right now the weather is just like.
You excited about some Buddy's Pizza?
Yeah. And IKEA. I was looking at bar furniture.
Oh, that we could record like 18 different things there.
Right, IKEA is probably going to be at least the source for a couple of different things.
You think we got to rent like a cargo van or something?
Well, I didn't intend to go to do whatever, but maybe if we can get Gabe to go, they got the truck, so we may be able to make something happen. So who knows? We'll figure it all out as we need to.
Inside baseball for you guys.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? We tried IKEA food coming up, and we tried Buddy's Pizza coming up, and so forth.
Maybe a regular episode.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure, a regular episode. You know what I'm saying? If I'm over in Detroit, I gotta holler at Chris and Balls Rock and maybe Corey.
Maybe you should get your passport so we can scoot over to Windsor.
We already talked about it.
Literally had that conversation. that is on the plate, on the menu. So worry not. We gonna make that happen, because that's what we do. Box told me we need to go back to DC so he can take a better picture of Martin Luther King, and I'm okay with
Not
that
of
idea.
Martin Luther King.
With
me in front of Martin Luther King.
I said with.
Yeah, I'm. If we go to DC this time, we need to stay. A day or.
There will be no turnaround ever again. That shouldn't have happened to begin with. We played ourselves. But yeah, if we go win, no ifs, win. When we go to DC a second time, yeah, we definitely would just do an overnight. That way we can wake up early, we can go hit up Ted's, go get the big fucking jumps in a row, bruh. You know it, man.
Yeah, we can do it all. The year is our oyster. I mean, the world is our oyster.
Yeah, and if we keep it just this little channel of travel, it don't cost too much. You know what I'm saying? And that helps Lunch's goal of keeping his pockets right.
Yeah.
You want to help us out on these missions, these goals, these dreams, man? Support us on Patreon. Patreon.com/StageCrunchy and Milk. At the $5 and above level, you get extra shows. At the, at the single dollar level, you just helping us out. I mean, can a brother hold $1? Just one? Come on, man, put me on. It's just a month. I don't charge per episode, nothing like that. Hook it up. Get out there, go to ratemypodcast.com/skim and rate the show. I'm making it that much easier for you this go around. All you gotta do is go there to that site and it's done. It's easy. You know what I'm saying? Hook it up. Look out for us. We look out for you by entertaining you with these words.
Tell us how much you hate our dick jokes.
Tell us how much you love our dick jokes. I'll hear none of the rest.
I haven't heard anyone who actually dislikes them.
Love the show, hate the dick jokes.
That's somebody's review in their mind, but they've never shared that with us.
Might be a review before the end of the day if I got anything to do with it.
Anyway, that's Tatum 216. It's Lunchbox 2099. Our missing man is at the real ODP. He's currently on a Twitter sabbatical. So let him have his time right now as he gets his head right away from Twitter. Probably better for it, especially during this impeachment shit. He definitely don't want to be on there.
His wife tried to hit me up for Keto Cheesecake on Instagram.
I seen that.
Sashayed my way around that.
And I am Dinner 0713. I'm sure he would share his Keto Cheesecake with you if you were like at his house, a guest or whatever.
She asked me that. The first thing that came to my mind is like the Family Matters episode where they're trying to pump out all the pies. Like I'm running some sort of confectionery in my kitchen.
I do remember that. On Rachel.
Anyway, you just been podcast student. I know you loved it.
Or at least liked it.
Peace.
Hey, what happened to you? You used to be beautiful.